And because she's actually a darker coloured guinea pig, it's often harder to see visually what's going on, but you can see that's really an enormous sebaceous cyst that is sitting there that we're going to work on. Let's do a neater job.
Hi everyone, I'm Lynn from Cavy Central Guinea Pig Rescue.
Hi everyone, we have a little guinea pig here that has got a sebaceous cyst which has been developing on her for some time. As you can see, she's dark in colour, and a lot of these sebaceous cysts, while they are harmless, they can present another issue in the size that they can develop to, and this can become very awkward when you're touching them, holding them. It can impress on other parts of their body depending on how large the sebaceous cyst is. So let's take a look at her. She's actually all over. You wouldn't notice that she has anything wrong. So if we take a careful look at her, oops, sorry, sweetie pie. Let me sit you down there. Very jumpy because it's quite solid on here. But here is the sebaceous cyst underneath. If I turn around to me, whoops, there we go. You'll see that for all intensive purposes, when you have a guinea pig, unless you're handling them every day, you won't notice that there's a problem. But this sebaceous cyst that is growing slowly is here on her right flank, and it's rather large in the size that it is at the moment. So what we're going to do is actually take a closer look. We're going to shade that back firstly so that you can see more clearly what sort of size we have there, because it's really pronounced on the body. But let's take a closer look when we get rid of that hair. One of the reasons we shave the hair right back is so that we can assess the area very carefully, but also when we do start to work on it, that there's no, sorry sweetheart, that there's no chance for the hair to get in the way of the opening and then further cause complications with infection. So we just create quite an area around where we're going to work, and because she's actually a darker coloured guinea pig, it's often harder to see visually what's going on, but you can see that's really an enormous sebaceous cyst that is sitting there that we're going to work on. Let's do a neater job. And the reason I've taken this top hair is because it will flop down over the wound area. So now we can see it much more clearly. Again, this coat is still a little bit in the way. Let's just take that back. So we have a very clear margin around the area that we're looking at. Now, this particular sebaceous cyst has been here for some time. On this little girl, it's certainly very, very solid in the formation of what's there. So what we're going to do is just freeze that area. Now, it's really important that when we make that, it's very balloon-like as well, very firm to touch, but it's really important that we make that desensitized completely, which we do with a spray. When we're using the spray, it's important that piggies have their face away from the spray, so of course they're not breathing in or inhaling any of the material from that. Oh, it's very cold. Oh no, it's very cold in this region. There we go. Alright, we're just going to there's a sebaceous cyst. Oh, it's been sitting there for ages. It's okay. Just trying to get all of that out. And we'll go. Good girl. It's a bit yucky, isn't it? I know. A bit yucky. A bit yucky. Okay, wait a minute. Stay. Just put your head, don't want your head to go into it. What a good girl. So what a gums you've got in there. Yep. Hello. 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 That's it, gums you want, sweetie. We need to give you some food, don't we? With these cysts, they can't actually feel the contents of them, and if we numb the outside area, we can then remove them. They definitely feel some pressure around the base, but we're just going to slowly move that out, so that the whole contents, the actual wall of the cyst, you can see it there. We often call that the sac, is actually moving out with it, which is terrific. Sweet boy, sweet boy. Whoa, 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 whoa. What you doing? I would like to give you some food. Here it comes. Oh, you don't eat that. Yuck. Here it comes. Yeah, here it comes. Yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck. Let's get the whole thing out. Good girl. Good. Oh, I know you want to eat it. And they do. When these rupture naturally, they eat the contents. Very gross. Totally gross. Don't eat that. Ugh, can't be good for you. Hold on, that's one reason we just keep her sitting there. Okay, let's just get this completely out for you, Missy. come away so good. And you can see how solid that is. The material, it's very hard. This is what the hard lump is made from. You definitely have to have gloves on for all of this. Okay. There we go. This is so much better. So much better. Okay. There we go. Good. Good. Wonderful. Just again. Check that. Yeah, hello. Hello. Up down. Very good. Hello. Let's pop under there. Just so I can make sure that is as clear as possible. Okay. Good girl. There. Okay. You are a champion. Let's get some of this, hey? Because you, my dear, have deserved it. Look at that. Yay. Yeah. Have this. Yay. Have this one. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So this looks fantastic. It's very easily dealt with, and the magic about this is that it can make the area less aggravated and less likely. For example, every time she was picked up, she had a massive 2 to 3 inch bump that was pressing in on her rib area. So with that removed, she'll be way more comfortable. It'll be less obvious to people who are handling her. And of course, the lump itself is gone. So the healing with this is really, really fast. You can deal with it relatively easy. And the advantages are great. Yeah, okay. So she'll be a little bit unshaven on this side. What is likely to happen is that she may require some antibiotics. We'll keep an eye on that. More than likely she won't. 9 times out of 10 certainly wouldn't. With lumps that are very tiny, we don't look at touching them because they're simply not causing any problems and they're not uncomfortable. But when they get to be this size, they then start to obstruct where you're holding them, handling them. It pushes in on them differently. It can become really tight and firm, and with an anesthetic spray we can make the whole process less invasive. We can make it less dangerous because these animals are hindgut fermenters and they're coprophagic. You can see she's eating and acting quite normally now. If I touch her here, she will not wince. There's no pain around this area. So we can do this very easily in the space of about 5 minutes to 10 minutes, and it's very treatable, and the complications are removed. So often we see vets that will have undertaken this sort of work, and as a result they then put drains in to drain the area, and that actually causes subsequent problems with infection, which leads to additional courses of antibiotics and medications, and then of course probiotics. Whereas when we look at this method of treatment, none of that is actually going to occur. We find 9 times out of 10 that this is all that's required, and potentially maybe only once more we would flush that, and it would be very minor. Now in 24 hours time, this will be virtually flat and almost to a normal size and closed. You'll actually wonder where all this loose skin has gone. It's really quite remarkable. Within the space of 24 hours, it's incredible how their skin goes back to normal. So that's it from me, and we'll update you and keep you posted with her progress, and update you again soon. Take care. Bye for now, everyone.